click on the subscribe button, and press the bell icon, to never miss any updates.
والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبي الرحمة وإمام الهدى محمد بن عبد الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن دعا بدعوته واهتدى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. Respected brothers and sisters, esteemed guests, scholars, and our fellow mashayikh and scholars who are here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we've gathered here in this annual banquet on behalf of North American Bangladeshi Islamic Community, NABIC. I don't know if this was planned or coincidentally scheduled, but today happens to be the Victory Day, Bijoy Divos in Bangladesh, 16 December, which is actually something really momentous and very hopeful for our people and our nation. And I'm extremely honored to stand here before all of you distinguished and incredible people doing some phenomenal work in your respective fields, especially to alleviate the plight of many of our fellow Rohingya brothers and sisters who are suffering across the globe. Sharing and caring, a prophetic model. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was sent to the entire humanity. The Prophet Muhammad was not just sent to the Arabs in 7th century Arabia, but in fact his message was a message that was supposed to transcend and transcends beyond age and place and peoples. He said in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ إِلَيْكُمْ جَمِيعًا. O Prophet, tell the people, O people, I have been sent as a messenger to all of you, to serve humanity. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported to have said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ أَنْفَعُهُمْ لِلنَّاسِ أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. The best people are who? Those that benefit other people, right? خَيْرُ النَّاسِ, best of humanity is those that serve humanity. So we are here for a very noble cause, noble project. I just want to share two examples of how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings of God be upon him, how he demonstrated sharing and caring and love to his fellow companions in his community and his fellow man. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was among the most well-known companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him. He narrated the most number of ahadith, prophetic traditions. Abu Hurairah was in fact a very poor person, and there were days and nights that he would starve and remain hungry. So he says, and this is reported in Sahih al-Bukhari, in al-Riqaq, and Imam Ahmed, his Musnad, Abu Hurairah was suffering from hunger so bad. He was feeling the pangs of hunger. He described that if he lied down on the ground, he could feel his livers falling to the ground. That's how hungry he was, and how starving he was. So he went by the roadside hoping that someone would invite him over for some food. So he saw Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So Abu Bakr approached him, they greeted each other. So Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu inquired about a verse in the Quran, hoping that Abu Bakr would explain the verse and then invite him over for some food. So Abu Bakr, he explained the ayah, the verse, and he moved on. He didn't invite him, he didn't give him da'wat. So then, sometime after, Umar radiallahu anhu was passing by, and Abu Hurairah approached him and asked him about a verse in the Quran, hoping that maybe Umar will invite me after he gives me the tafsir of this verse. Umar gives the commentary and he moves on. He didn't invite him over. So Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu is feeling really sad and super hungry. And then Abu al-Qasim, he says, Abu al-Qasim passed by, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this is the name, the kunya of the Prophet, peace be upon him. So the Prophet ﷺ realized what the situation was. He knew what Abu Hurairah's condition was. So he said, Abu Hurairah, come with me. So Abu Hurairah is so happy and excited, right? Like finally he can eat something or drink something. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, asks for permission to enter his home. They enter, and there was a bowl of milk. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Min ayna hadha al-laban? Where is this milk from? Where did you get this milk? He asked his family. So they said it was a gift. So any kind of gift, the Prophet ﷺ would share with his companions, especially the poor, and he would have a portion of it. But if it was charity or sadaqah or a donation, he would not take any part in that. He would donate it all for the sake of Allah. So Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was instructed by the Prophet, Abu Hurairah, come here. He called him, oh Abu Hir, out of love and compassion and endearment. He said, Abu Hir, come over here. Go call the people of Sufa, invite them all, go get them, and we're going to have this milk together. So Abu Hurairah wondered, man, I knew he was going to do that. I'm going to go to the people of Sufa who lived in the backside of the masjid, side of the masjid, in the elevated platform. If you go to Masjid al-Nabawi today still, you will see that elevated platform. That is where the poorest and the marginalized members of the Prophet's community resided and stayed. They had no kind of financial backing but that. So Abu Hurairah is being instructed to go invite these people to come. So he's thinking to himself, now I'm going to go invite these guys from Sufa, they're going to come. And then the Prophet ﷺ is going to command me to serve the milk to all of them. This little bowl, after serving all of the people of Sufa, you know, there's a saying in our Bangla, proverb. I don't know the Shuddha version of it, but the Silati version of it is right? The one who serves eats last. And oftentimes, Shuddhu Jul, like the person who serves oftentimes is left with the gravy and the curry, right? The sauce. And the meat and the vegetables and the main, the good stuff is gone. So Abu Hurairah is, talking to himself, and he's like, man, there goes my meal. And he's like, I didn't really like that. He's being very honest at the same time, right? And then he's telling himself, but you know what? I have to obey Allah and His Rasul. I have to obey God and His Messenger. I have to. So he calls the people of Sufa, they come, they all sit down and they're relaxing. And just like Abu Hurairah predicted, the Prophet said, Abu Hurairah, get up and serve them. So he gives the bowl to the first man. The first man drinks to his fill, and then he passes on the bowl to the second person. The second person drinks until he's full, and then the third, and then the fourth. And like this, until everybody is full, the bowl comes to the hand of the Prophet ﷺ, and then he says, this is for me and you, Abu Hurairah. Drink, ya Abu Hurairah. So then Abu Hurairah begins to drink from this bowl. And he's drinking, and then the Prophet is saying, drink. So he drinks until he's super full. He can't drink anymore. And the Prophet said, drink, Abu Hurairah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, by the one who sent you as a true prophet, I cannot drink anymore, I'm full. So he said, okay, great, now it's my turn. So the Prophet ﷺ drinks with his blessed hands, and everybody has a great time, everybody's full from that one bowl of milk. SubhanAllah. Talking about sharing and caring. A sound hadith, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, food for one is enough for two. Food for two is enough for four. There is barakah, yadullahi ma'al jama'ah. Where there is the group, the congregation, the community, there's Allah's divine blessings and divine attachment to that. The Sahaba, they came and they complained to the Prophet, peace be upon him, Ya Rasulullah, when we eat, we don't feel fulfilled, like our hunger still remains. Can you tell us what the matter is? And then he said, I'm afraid you guys all eat separately. You don't eat together as a group, as a family, as a community. We're so busy in our crazy New York lifestyle. When was the last time we actually had a meal with our family members? We're always on the go, eating while standing, rushing on the subway, so on and so forth. Of course, that's totally fine, but we should try when we can to sit together, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing is in the group. And this is what the Prophet demonstrated here. The second story I want to share with you, and then we will move forward bi'ithnillah with the program, is a story about another young companion by the name of Jabir ibn Abdullah, radiyallahu anhuma. Jabir's father, Abdullah, became a martyr, a shaheed in the Battle of Uhud. So Jabir was very sad. He was an older sibling, he had little sisters, younger siblings, and he had a lot of debt and liabilities that remained after his father passed on. So he was overwhelmed with this burden. So he looked really sad, and the Prophet ﷺ realized and recognized, and he approached him and said, Jabir, what's going on? You look really down and sad. He said, I really miss my dad, Ya Rasulullah. He passed away in Uhud, and I have this huge financial debt and this really big burden to pay off. This outstanding loan that I gotta pay back to people that my dad left behind. So he said, okay, Jabir, I want to share with you some really awesome news, some really good news. What's this news? The Prophet ﷺ said that Allah never spoke to anyone except behind a veil. But your father, Allah honored and loved so much that after his martyrdom, when he became shaheed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to him directly without any veil. SubhanAllah. Jabir was elated. He couldn't believe it. He was so happy and humbled. And he felt so good that his dad is in such a good place and how Allah is honoring him and taking care of him in such a manner that nobody else really received this sort of treatment. And then after that he said, Ya Rasul, I'm very happy and I know that my dad is doing well, but what about all these loans? My dad didn't leave behind anything except a small simple date tree. And that too, he borrowed a lot of dates from people and he owes them dates. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Jabir, do me a favor. Tomorrow, midday, I'm going to come to your place. Be ready to receive me, and all the dates that you harvested, just keep them separate. The Prophet ﷺ, on point, he came on time and he made tawaf, he circumambulated the dates that were harvested. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, go call all the people that your dad owes dates to. Call them all. So they all come, and then the Prophet said, now here, start distributing. Start dishing out all the dates. And then he gives it until everybody is paid back in full their dates. Still remaining is the original amount of dates. Now that was the barakah and the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that came through this beautiful act of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So then Jabir is very happy that this huge burden is kind of off his shoulders. And then fast forward, in one of the battles that took place thereafter, one of the campaigns, military campaigns, Ghazwa Dhat al-Riqa, when they were returning back to Medina, Jabir radiallahu anhu was really sluggish and very slow, and he was all the way at the end of the delegation, all the way at the end of the group. So then he tried to keep up, but it wasn't working. His camel was very fragile, very weak. So then the Prophet ﷺ realized, and he went, approached him. Look at this, leader of humanity, the best of Allah's creation, making time to go to the back of the row and inquire about this young man. What's going on? What's the matter? Subhanallah. So he goes to him and says, Ya Rasulullah, my camel is just way too slow. He says, okay, Jabir, just give me your staff, your stick, and you stay on your camel's back. And the Prophet ﷺ gently struck the camel, and all of a sudden, this camel became a super fast, strong camel, energetic camel, now at the front lines, beating everybody. So the Sahaba are like, man, Jabir, what kind of engine do you have on this camel? What kind of gas are you using on this guy? Subhanallah. So the Prophet ﷺ then asked Jabir, could you sell me this camel? Ya Rasulullah, how can I sell? I mean, before the energy came, perhaps, that was the time to sell. Now, the market is doing good right now. Prices are going up. How can I, the value has exponentially grown. Like, how can I? So then he said, you know what? Ya Rasulullah, I'm going to give it to you as a gift. I'll give it as a hadiyah, gift to you. So then the Prophet said, no. You have to sell it. You have to sell it. Look at how the Prophet he's striking a deal with this young man, right? So then Jabir says, okay, Ya Rasulullah, what's your price? He said, I'll pay you 1 dirham for it, 1 silver coin. And then Jabir is thinking, yeah, Rasulullah, that's a bit too low. That's way too low. I'm sorry, you gotta do a little better than that. That's not too good. So then the Prophet said, okay, fine, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 2 dirhams. Yeah, Rasulullah, that's not a really fair price. Come on, we gotta work this out. So then finally, after negotiating, they bring it up to 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce of gold. And then the deal is done. So then Jabir says, Ya Rasulullah, just one condition. Could I just ride my camel to Medina and then tomorrow you can take it? He said, deal. So then Jabir is going super fast now. And then Rasulullah says, Jabir, what's the hurry? Why are you in a rush? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I just recently got married. I miss my wife. I would like to go see her. So the Prophet ﷺ asked him, did you marry someone young or someone who was previously married? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I married actually someone who was formerly married. Why didn't you marry someone younger? You could have enjoyed your life, play and have fun and travel and do all these awesome things. He said, oh Prophet of Allah, I have younger siblings. I didn't want to bring someone who was like a sister figure. In fact, I wanted to have someone who could be like a mother figure who could look after and take care of my family and be there as a role model. Subhanallah. Look at the priority of this young man. The Prophet ﷺ said, Jabir, you got your priorities straight, man. You got your life set, mashallah. The vision that you have is profound. So Jabir radiallahu anhu goes to Medina, meets his wife, and he tells her the story and the experiences, and he says, look, long story short, I sold my camel. Okay, that's fine. He's like, yeah, I had all these mixed feelings, should I sell or not sell, and the camel is really strong and healthy and good, and, but, as a prophet, so I had to kind of, make the deal with him. She said, don't worry. Go tomorrow to the prophet, give him his camel, and you get the money that you guys agreed on. So he goes the next day, and he says, Ya Rasulullah, here's the camel. The Prophet ﷺ ordered Bilal radiallahu anhu to give him the ounce of gold, and he said, Bilal, give him extra also. Give him extra. So then Bilal gives him the ounce of gold that was agreed upon, and adds extra. So then the Prophet ﷺ sees Jabir and says, Jabir, did you take your money? He said, yeah, Rasulullah, I took the money, but what's the extra? He's like, that's for you. He said, may Allah bless you and reward you, Ya Rasulullah, for the increase. And he said, Jabir, here is the money and the extra, and here is your camel. I don't need your camel. This is your camel. He didn't take the camel. The Prophet ﷺ did not take the camel. He said, Rasulullah, then why did we go through all of that? What was all that about? He said, Jabir, I was just having a moment with you. I was just caring and sharing. I was just having a time with you, man. I was just enjoying and engaging this, time with you productively. This meaningful relationship. I wanted to give you that attention, that love, that support, that nourishment. SubhanAllah. Muhammad ibn Sirin, one of the great scholars, he said, Rahimahullah, لَوْلَا الْمِزَاحِ لَمُتْنَا مِنَ الْغَمِّ. That if it wasn't for lighthearted, wholesome, productive, meaningful joking and recreation, humanity would die out of depression. The Prophet ﷺ displayed such beautiful joking and recreation with his companions, unlike any other. Jabir was so ecstatic. He went outside and he started screaming out of happiness. So one of the non-Muslim community members saw and he said, what's going on, Jabir? He said, you just got to come meet the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He's the greatest person on the face of this planet. So then, that was the end of the story. This is in Imam ibn Kathir's Bidayah wa Nihaya, the beginning and end. You can find this narration there. So my dear brothers and sisters, in this wonderful gathering, let us see how we can inspire and touch the hearts and lives of people in whatever capacity and shape we can, inshaAllah ta'ala, whether financially, whether by supplicating, making dua, remembering, providing resources, volunteering our time, so on and so forth. We ask you to support NABIC and the wonderful work and the really important work that they're doing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and your families and all of the service and donation that you will provide tonight and moving on forward. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.